This is Backdoor Boink, where we welcome every side of everyone. Please note, this is an 18-plus podcast. It's time to put in some earbuds if you don't want to answer awkward questions from your children, family, or friends. I'm Kayla, a certified relationship and intimacy coach.
And I'm MJ, and I brought the lube.
In this podcast, we explore the behind the scenes of a weekly wellness topic. Our goal is to help you feel good, be naughty. Thank you for checking out our After Dark, After Hours podcast. You can find more information, including our YouTube channel, social media accounts, events, Discord, and products at boinked.com. That's www.boink-ed.com. Now, let's get in that back door. Are you ready?
No.
Why do I even ask?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, I'm kind of excited, even though we just picked our topic 30 seconds ago.
If that.
If that. That's okay. It's a good one.
Well, your brain's mush.
My brain is so mush, but I'm not going to get on my...
Soapbox?
No, it's not a soapbox. It's a pity me train of all the things.
Choo-choo.
Yeah, it's a train that's lined up where every cart has one more task that I need to do, and then somebody rams into the ass end of it and attaches another cart. I'm not getting on that train right now. Nobody wants to hear that shit.
You sure?
People want to hear about me getting rammed in the ass. Maybe, but not the pity train. So, moving on. Tonight, we are talking the ABCs.
1, 2, 3s?
No, just the ABCs. There's no numbers in here.
Reminds me of a song. Jackson 5.
Oh, wow, that took way too long.
Yeah.
Is this where I do the singing thing?
Yeah.
ABC, as easy as. And that's where we stop, so we don't get copyright.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And that's why I yell at you.
Hey, I thought you yelled at me because it was bad.
Do you believe what you want to believe?
Uh-huh, okay. Anyway, so when I say letters, what are we talking about exactly?
The alphabet. Acronyms?
Acronyms, yes. Acronyms as they relate to BDSM and Kink.
Which is also an acronym.
BDSM is a really cool acronym, but it's so cool that it trips even
It's
me
confusing.
up. Yes.
Yeah, it's cool and simple and confusing all at the same time.
I ask it in every 101 class that I do, and then I end up sounding like an idiot because I trip over it trying to keep track of what people did say and missed.
Right.
Bondage, discipline, domination, submission, sadism, and masochism. 4 letters, 6 words. It's cool. It's a lot. But no, we're going to talk about the acronyms that relate to consent and safe practices within BDSM.
There is a such thing as consent and safe practices?
Despite what that book that has varying shades of gray may or may not allude to. Actually, I revisited that movie with a friend recently. Shout out to Kinky Kate. And there's a lot of different ways you can look at it. We should probably do an episode. Can we write down 50 Shades of Grey?
We'll have to call it something else, but yes.
Right. I really think I want to go back and I want to read the book, and I want to rewatch the movies. But Kinky Kate came into it with a beginner perspective. So anyway, let's not get off topic.
We'll discuss that another time.
Yes.
There are goods and bads to that thing.
Absolutely. That's going to be a fun episode. Yes, there are safe practices and consent in BDSM. I hope there are safe practices and consent in non-BDSM activities as well.
Yeah, probably not as much.
That is a sad fact.
Is crazy and as kinky as the people in the BDSM community are.
Yeah.
They are very on when it comes to consent and being safe.
Absolutely. I mean, there's already such inherent risk in some of the things that they're doing. So
well, to the point where I would say some of them are over the top on it.
Yeah.
And there are.
But that's different.
But it's all a matter of perspective.
What do they say? Different risk profiles. That sort of thing. All right, so let's get into these acronyms. And we chose to order them by level of familiarity.
Okay.
So things that people might have heard about versus the more obscure ones. And I even found a new one as we were doing quick research here tonight.
I've seen the new one. I couldn't remember what the new one was. I've seen it, but
I kind of like it. We'll get to it. It's the second to last one. So we have a total of six acronyms. And what I suggest to people is to hear them out and find the one that speaks to you and your interests moving forward. We're probably going to pick these apart like with our teeth.
What I'm going to say is look at them, pick what one works for you for your situation.
Oh, it might change situationally. That's a really, really valid point.
One you would use with a longtime partner versus one you're going to use or choose to use at a pickup party or doing a scene at a dungeon with somebody that you don't know as well.
No, that's a really valid point, and I think I gravitate towards one or two of these more because of teaching them in relation to my rope classes. But let's get into it. Let's kick it off with the one people know the most or are more likely to know.
The one we use with us, known more probably to the older class, the longer practicing, would be SSC.
I feel like it's not just a matter of the older class and the practicing. I feel like this is something that comes up in jokingly in day-to-day, not maybe day-to-day, maybe not that frequently, but in casual company or conversation.
Safe, sane, consensual.
Safe, sane, consensual.
A lot of the younger people in kink, people new to kink, are pulling away from it because it's safe, sane, and consensual versus some of the other ones.
Okay, so what seems to be pulling people away from this one? I have my thoughts.
Again, I go back to my over-the-top comment, so I'm probably going to upset some people.
Yeah, what else is new?
I know. I really try not to upset people, and I go back to what works for you.
Yep.
We've been together so long that if it's not safe, sane, and consensual, it's just not going to happen. I don't have to look at the other risk profiles that we're going to take a look at tonight.
Okay.
Between us, if we were starting our relationship, I would probably look at one of the next couple that we're looking at.
Okay, fair enough. The other ones do bring more to the table. But from what I have as far as insight for why people have drawn back from the safe, sane, consensual is one reason for each. Number one, it's not safe. That's why we're going through this process. Mm-hmm. In BDSM, there is inherent risk. There is a chance that somebody could get hurt. It's, by definition, not safe, or we wouldn't have this talk. Time out. Go ahead. You have a comment.
What is your definition of safe? A. What is your perspective on safety within we're going to call it a task, that we're looking to perform here? No, it's not blanket safe.
Right.
You need to pick it apart.
And I'm just bringing to the table why people pull back from this. The second concern is sane.
Name one person you know that is sane. Exactly.
It can feel derogatory towards individuals that have mental health problems, which is 99.9% of the population nowadays, it feels like.
Especially post-COVID.
Yeah, Twitch. And then the third reason is it talks about consensual, but doesn't extrapolate or define what consensual is. So it's got 3 strikes against it. So a lot of the younger generations have pulled back from this. It is actually one that I teach, but I will circle back as to why I teach that and why I may be changing.
It is a foundation.
It's a great foundation. The rest of them are built off of that.
They are. It is a great foundation, but yeah, there's always room for improvement.
Okay.
How many times can you
reinvent the wheel?
Yeah.
All right, so would you consider number 2 on our list an improvement?
What was number 2? Oh, yes.
Okay, so number 2 is RAC, which stands for...
Risk-aware consensual kink.
You got it.
Risk-aware.
Exactly.
It puts the responsibility on you more than to take a look at your risk profile.
Yes. It means that everybody involved has recognized that there's risk as opposed to safe, all right? Everybody's been made aware of them, is still choosing to consent to the kink in question.
Yeah.
And I like that. Nobody is putting on rose-tinted glasses here. Everybody is aware of what's going on. So I do teach SSC and rack in combination for my classes. The reason that I've been doing this is because teaching rope, there's a lot of risk involved in rope play or shibari. Mm-hmm. So this had to be on the table, risk. But one of the things these other acronyms have been missing is that sanity aspect. Now, I'm not talking about, have you ever been diagnosed with a mental health disorder? Fuck no.
What is your frame of mind right now?
That. Are you in a headspace that makes it safer to agree to the risks and consent to the kink in question? That is something that's really important, because there are plenty of times I try and avoid using personal experience when appropriate, but I don't know if this is true for everybody, but there have been plenty of times where I'm in such a bad headspace, all I want is kink, but for the wrong reasons.
You want the kink to take it away.
Yes.
You want it to take away the pain or
I want the pain to take away the mental stress. I want, I want the CNC to take away all the decision making, and it's not the healthiest decisions in the moment.
It wouldn't be what one would consider, air quotes here, sane.
Exactly. They do, in one form or another, help temporarily, but they don't get to the root of the problem.
No.
So making sure that you're in the right headspace to make these choices, because also if you're not, let's go back to my example, I may not be choosing the appropriate risk level because I am just looking for that relief.
I want to be tied up. I want my ass beat. I want something. So I'm going to consent and say yes.
Yep. I may not ask all the questions that I need to ask of my tying partner or my scene partner because I just need kink. So sanity is important.
So SSC, safe, sane, consensual. When we play, is the scene going to be safe? I look it over. In my mind, I check it out. I do the size up. Sane. Am I in the headspace? Are you in the headspace? But I can see how with this wording, people don't look at it that way. They go, oh, are they crazy or not?
You also have to realize, though, that you are, and I'm pushing, being the older generation. So this is... Yeah.
No.
You're trying so hard. There are older. Yes, there are older still. But our age brackets...
is the higher end of...
Yeah.
The majority of the kink population at this point.
I still haven't figured out what I am. A millennial, a Gen Zer, a Gen Xer. I'm somewhere in all of that. So very much in the kink world as well, I'm stuck in this transitional period.
I'm a Gen X.
Right. Yeah.
I was the 79. I was the last year.
I don't know.
I believe I was the last year. Or was it 80 that was the last year of Gen X?
I don't know.
And then it was Gen Z, or was it...
See,
now I'm all confused.
Yeah. I was born in 88. You were born in 79.
Right. I know I was the last year of Gen X.
Okay. So, it also depends on generationally as opposed to just the year. Generationally, what your upbringing was like, too, and the culture around you and stuff like that. Do you have older parents? Whatever. Not necessarily that your parents are teaching you kink, but in relation to what Gen X, Y, Z, millennial you fall into. I
played outside until it got dark, and then I came in. I didn't have a helmet, and that could explain a lot of the problems I have today.
There you go. There you go. All right. So, SSC, benefits, drawbacks, rack, lots of benefits there.
There are.
Drawback, one of them is going to be the same problem that we have with the first one, which is that consent is not defined. At least now we have some reference to risk awareness. All right. So, number 3 is prick. Also, I love rack because it's funny, but prick is pretty funny too.
Rack is funny because, and
tie me up to the rack, baby. Well. You think bazooms when you hear rack? You think breastises.
Well, we don't have a rack. I'd love a rack.
I have never put that together. Not once.
Rack, prick.
Oh, now, okay. Just for those that can't see, because that's...
Top and bottom.
Yeah. Rack at the top, prick at the bottom. Ha ha ha, very funny. What is prick? Not your prick. I'm going to take this one over. Personal responsibility, informed, consensual kink. Yeah, we're getting wordy up in here.
So this one turns it around on you as the bottom to take personal responsibility for knowing what's going on in the scene.
Yes.
It gives me personal responsibility as the top to inform you of what I intend to do.
Yes. Which inherently has some risk awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. What are your feelings on this one?
I still go old school. I actually like a rack better than this.
Okay. I do too. I'm just going to put this out there. I have a knee-jerk reaction to this one. This whole idea of personal responsibility. This is a team effort. Whether that's a team of 2 or more, this is a team effort. Personal responsibility feels like a cop-out for if something goes wrong,
you knew the risk going into it.
It's your fault. If something goes wrong, it could be so many things.
It could be.
It could be the environment.
It could be the light falling from the ceiling and hitting you.
I mean...
we fell a prick. You should have known.
Yeah, it's your own damn fault for standing under the light. It almost feels to me...
like it singles you out.
It feels to me like victim blaming. It has that risk of victim blaming for me. And I don't know where that comes from. I don't know why. That's my knee-jerk reaction to this one.
Okay.
It's a team sport.
It's a team sport, whether it's 2 or more. I mean, yeah, there's self-bondage. Well, then, you really do have to look at your own risk profile if you're going to do that stuff. It's not something I recommend.
Right.
But this does look like a, hey, nope, I'm out, you can't blame me.
Yeah.
Kind of situation if shit really hits the fan.
It feels like that. It feels like it has that potential. So I don't really subscribe to this one.
I mean, I do in a sense. I do in a sense if it's somebody that you've never played with before, maybe taking that extra little bit and going, okay, I'm looking at my profile a little more.
It's good to remind yourself, but I feel that could just as easily be lumped in to rack.
Yeah.
I don't know. Please, people, comment. Let us know which of these, if any, that you subscribe to. Which one speaks to you? I'll throw it up in a poll, but I think a comment to really piece these apart, especially in a community such as BDSM and Kink, it's really important that we're making people feel safe and included. So please, drop a comment. All right, number 4, fries. This makes me laugh.
Fries are good.
Fries are tasty. Fries are delicious. And I guess that's why they picked this, but it's a fucking mouthful when you break it down. Go ahead.
Freely given, reversible, informed, enthusiastic, and specific.
That's a really good one. I mean, freely given to me goes hand in hand with enthusiastic.
Yeah.
If it's not freely given, chances are it's going to come out with something like, I guess so, we can try that, which is not enthusiastic.
No.
So,
it's like you asking me.
Right.
Anything.
So that's true. That's true. You have to take a couple days to warm up to ideas. So it feels to me like freely given is just thrown in there to make this a fun acronym to spell out a word.
Right.
I do love this acronym because it touches on things that have not been mentioned in any of the prior ones.
Reversible.
Reversible,
revocable, however you want to look at it.
I can say yes now, and 30 seconds later I can say no, and that's it. It's done. Consent is revocable, and you can always negotiate down. So yes, it does.
Always negotiate
It does talk about
down.
informed, which is missing from the other one. I mean, we talk about risk aware. Oh no, informed is in prick.
It is.
Risk aware to me suggests informed. You're becoming aware, you're getting the information. So I feel there's some similarities there, but fries is the only one that has reversible and enthusiastic and specific. So it really is breaking down what consent means, which is why this is the only one that doesn't have the C for consent.
Right.
Because it really breaks down what consent is.
Yeah. So it's more about, I think, consent than actually anything safe, sane, or risk profile wise.
It's a good one. I still feel it's missing some stuff, but
now you talked about renegotiating mid-scene. Let's touch on that. Don't ever negotiate up.
Don't ever negotiate for more.
Your endorphins are running. you're high on life at that moment, you're going to negotiate something.
And you may have the buyer's remorse when all is said and done.
By all means, negotiate down.
Yep. Hey, you know what? I know I agreed to using that cane. It's too much for me. We need to negotiate down to a paddle.
Yep. Go back to the paint stir.
Just paint stir, go back to the hand, like negotiating down, okay. I know I said I was good with inverted suspension. Not okay with it. We're switching to a partial. Negotiate down. It's always okay. Never up.
Only because you touched on it.
Yeah,
Didn't want to get sidetracked, but...
That's a really good point. Thank you for bringing that up. All right. So technically we have one more and then a bonus acronym. So this last one is the one that I just found as we were kind of refreshing our list. I have never seen this.
I don't like this one.
What?
Kind of makes me sick.
Okay.
Or I should say, sick.
Sick. See, when I read this one, so this acronym is legitimately sick. SSICK. But for some reason, when I read it, I'm like, that's sick. Like, I like this one. I think this is the one, if it becomes more well-known, I would love to teach this one in my class as opposed to trying to cram SSC and RAC together.
Right. This covers a lot of SSC. Safe, sane, informed, consensual kink.
Yes. It adds that informed piece. It adds that sane piece. Again, talking
what
to your...
What headspace am I in?
Headspace.
What headspace are you in?
You know, it talks about consensual. And I guess if I were to teach this, when I'm talking about safe, I would talk about, is this within your risk profile? Is this to a degree of safety that you are comfortable with?
You look at them all, you have to break them all down and to different tiers and different levels. And what does it mean to you?
Exactly. And that's why we kind of pieced these apart as into what are the drawbacks, what are people's holdups or concerns with some of these, and what are their benefits. So people can find which one works for them. I'm really keen on this SSICK, this sick acronym. I think this is going to stick for me. All right. Did you have any qualms about that one? I know it's really new. I'm sure people will have qualms with it.
I haven't digested it yet, really, but I do like that it's the safe and the sane. Like
intermixed with...
It touches on, is this safe for my profile, my personal profile?
Yep.
And am I in the right headspace to be participating in this? Informed? Well, we all like to be informed as to what's going to happen, or at least have an idea.
Right, which is, as we've said, essentially the same thing as risk awareness. You're informed, you're aware.
Yep. And it better be consensual.
Yep.
Even if it is non-consent, it's still consensual.
And it's kinky. I think what separates a lot of these, too, into different categories is whether or not we're applying these to kink. So, for example, SSC doesn't have to be kink related.
No.
It is your day-to-day interactions with somebody, especially if you're getting down and dirty. Same thing for fries. I think fries taught as a sex ed tool would be fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Like, you want to have intercourse with someone, it better be freely given, reversible, informed, enthusiastic, and specific as to what you are willing or not willing to do.
To me, fries focuses more on consent than anything else.
Yes, absolutely. So I think in relation to kink or BDSM, the other three, rack, prick, and sick, are really good specifically for kink or BDSM.
Out of all of these, if I had to give up SSC, I would have to say sick.
Cool. We're on
Although it makes me sick to say it.
Oh my gosh. You've already tried that joke once.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm sticking to it.
All right. Let's throw in our bonus acronym. Now, I have to try and remember what... so I put this one in one of our Munch Jeopardies.
You did?
Yes. So for our Munches, we try and include a game. And the Jeopardy was suggested as a way for baby kinksters, I say that with love, baby kinksters to learn while still having fun. So our Jeopardy, goes the full range. Easy questions at 100, hard ones at 5. And this came up. So the acronym is the 4 C's. CCCC. And when I brought this up on Jeopardy, somebody said, what was it? Creatures, children, crap, and corpses.
The 4 forbidden C's. They were apparently the 4 C's of things you should not engage with. So I was like, wait, because once you hear what these 4 C's actually stand for, it's completely different. Her brain went so fucking dark when actually this acronym is really fucking sweet and compassionate. So.
Why are you looking at me? I can't read my writing here.
Okay. The 4 C's stand for caring, communication, consent, and caution.
And why are you calling this a bonus one?
This is a bonus one because instead of it focusing on a scene or, a one-off kind of situation, this is something that is strongly recommended for those who participate in a 24/7 dynamic. A power exchange, a dominant, and a submissive. This is a really important way to continuously check in with yourself or yourselves to make sure that everything is running smoothly when you have that deliberate, consistent surrender.
But I do this daily with you.
Okay, so...
we don't have a 24/7 dynamic. Well, we do and we don't.
Okay. I do have a comment on that. We have a 24/7 dynamic. When we're outside of the bedroom, you're my bitch. When we're inside the bedroom, I'm yours.
Yeah, that's about right.
So I guess it's fair to say that the 4 C's are just a great relationship tool.
Yeah.
Having that care and compassion, the communication, the consent, and the caution. And to me, the caution reads as check-ins. If I could change one of those C's, I would change cautions to check-ins. You're treading and making sure that you have space for especially the person that's in the bottom role, the submissive role, to have a voice outside of the power exchange. Like, hey, we're taking off the collar and the leash for a moment.
Yeah. Time out.
Time out on all the gameplay. How are you feeling? That sort of stuff. So it's very sweet and wholesome. And this munch attendant was like, children, corpses, and other crazy, inappropriate things. These are the things you don't touch. And I died laughing. I've clearly been resurrected. It's fine. We're all good. All right, so that's our acronyms.
Okay.
What do you think?
I try not to. It hurts too much.
I'm with you. I'm with you there. It's very, very late. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. What do you have for us? As he pulls out his prick. No, I'm just kidding.
I wouldn't do that to these poor people.
They can't see.
Oh, well, that's a different story then.
Let's have a naughty limerick.
There once was a lady from France who took a long train ride by chance. The engineer fucked her before the conductor, and the fireman came in his pants.
What? I need a second. My brain is so mushy that at first I was like, wait, why is there a fireman on the train? Did it derail? Was there a catastrophe? And then I realized, and now I'm actually playing the scene out in my head, and there's a lot of exhibitionism and voyeurism going on, and there's nothing wrong with that limerick. I absolutely fucking love it. That is your best one to date.
How's your train running?
Chugga, chugga,
yeah,
choo,
that's what I thought.
Choo. All right.
I chuckled when you said earlier.
Oh. My pity train? Why? Did you already have this one planned out?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's serendipitous.
Who talks like that?
Me. All right. That's it for tonight. You can say goodnight.
Good night.
Thank you so much for listening. Please, if you're in the New England area, be sure to check out our events page on the website. We have so much fun stuff coming up, so many workshops and classes. We're also going to be offering more virtual classes coming up. Kink workshops, communication workshops. So please keep an eye out. Pre-register if you want to get emails before tickets go on sale. And don't forget about our drag show, just in time for Pride. But anyway.
What's the date?
June 22nd.
Hey, you remembered this time.
In Sturbridge. All right, but that's enough of shameless self-promotion plugs and shit. I'm going to say goodnight. We'll be back next week. In the meantime, stay you, stay beautiful, feel good, be naughty. Good night. Chugga, chugga,
yeah,
choo,
that's what I thought.
choo.
thanks again for listening to this podcast. I started Boink in 2022 with the goal to create a safe environment and culture for all genders and sexual orientations, to learn about and embrace every part of themselves and one another. We offer workshops, events, and various inclusive products, along with consultations to make sure we take a holistic approach to enhancing individuals' sexual satisfaction with themselves or their partners. I believe that when you accept yourself and your partner on the most intimate of levels, it filters out into your daily life. The World Health Organization recognizes this, saying sexual health is fundamental to the overall health and well-being of individuals, couples, and families, and to the social and economic development of communities and countries. So as long as you'll have us, Boink will be here. Kink affirming, gender blurring, sex fulfilling. And you can find any of our details at www.boink-ed.com.